Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Vapid GB200 in Grand Theft Auto Online. I figured I would do a customization of this thing because it is coming to the podium very soon, so I figured why not. I'm a really big fan of the GB200, I think it's a great car. Let's get into this customization. Alright guys, starting off with the armor, we're going to go all the way up on that of course, as well as the brakes. Next up we got the bumpers. We have front and rear options for this thing. We have the fog light covers, removed fogs, scoop splitter, or the exposed intercooler with the scoop splitter by the looks of things. Let's go for that one, why not? For the rear diffuser, we can remove the diffuser, rally diffuser, or a diffuser with tow hook. I think I want to go pretty aggressive with this thing, so let's do like the full diffuser. Chassis, we can add rally fogs, secondary cage, primary cage, chrome cage, or a rally setup. Let's do the rally setup. That looks pretty cool. Next up we got the exhaust. We can add a twin chrome exhaust. Definitely going to do that. It looks a lot better than the stock exhaust. For the lights we got xenon. For the livery we have a lot of different options here. We can add classic white racing stripes. We can add lower blue stripes, classic blue stripes, black stripes, lower red stripes, red rally, globe oil 08, blue rally, aero gasoline, sprunk, or back to none. I think we're gonna go for aero gasoline. I think that's a pretty crazy look. I like that a lot. For the mirrors, we can add racing mirrors, carbon racing mirrors, or secondary mirrors. Let's go secondary mirrors. I like that. Mud guards. Yeah, let's add them for sure. Why not have some mud flaps? The plate, we're gonna go yellow and black. For the respray, I do not know what color to go for here. Let's have a look. I'm thinking maybe like a blue of some sort would make sense for this thing. Let's see what we can do. Saxon blue almost matches up with the livery color. So does Mariner blue actually. You know what? I think we're gonna go for Mariner blue. That almost matches up perfectly. Actually, you know what? No, let's go for Saxon blue because I don't want it to like almost look like it's gonna match up, but then it doesn't match up. So we're gonna go for Saxon blue. And we'll do Saxon blue for the secondary as well. Next up, we got the trim color. We can change this. Let's make it white. Yeah, sure. Let's do white. Sun strips, we can add one. Let's do it. Why not? These skirts, we can add extended skirts. Might as well do that too. The spoiler. We have a roof spoiler that we can add, a rally spoiler, or a super downforce spoiler. The super downforce looks a little insane to me, so I think I'm gonna go for the roof spoiler just to get that extra traction bonus. Next up for the suspension, you can lower this thing a lot, it looks like. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna go raise suspension because it still is pretty raised up, even on the lowest settings, so that's pretty cool. Raise transmission, of course. Now we got the trunk. Okay, so we can add a smooth trunk, rallycross smooth, vented rallycross 2. Okay, we got the scoop we can add, vented rallycross 3, vented scoop, smooth carbon, rallycross carbon, or back to stock. Let's go for the vented scoop. I like that because it adds a little more detail to it, but we keep the headlights. Next up we got the turbo. Let's add the turbo for sure. For the wheels, I never know what to put on this car. I don't know what actually looks good. I guess since it is like a rally build, we could go for some off-road rims. Like maybe the concave Rally Master. Feel like it looks bad, but at the same time I also feel like it looks like pretty good. Let's add them and let's see what we can do when we actually color the wheels. Maybe we can make this work. Almost thinking like a yellow to match up with the livery, but I think yellow rims are just kind of a no. So let's see. What about like a bronze or something like that? Like bronze rims? I think that looks really good. We're gonna go for that. Tire design, we could add one. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Bulletproof tires as well. Might as well add those. For the windows, we could tint them all the way out. If it is gonna be a rally car, I probably won't tint the windows, but you know what? It's gonna be a street rally car. We're gonna put limo tint on it. Why not? Alright guys, well, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. Let's take this thing down to the ground. We're gonna do a sound test and a review. Alright guys, let's see what this thing actually sounds like. Sounds really good in my opinion. I have always been a fan of how the GB200 sounds. I think it's an amazing car. Let's see how it performs off the line here real quick. This thing is of course four-wheel drive. We're gonna just test that right now just in case you guys don't believe me. As you can see though, all four wheels are spinning. Very cool. Now the GB200 is definitely a pretty underrated car in Grand Theft Auto, I feel like. I don't think I've ever seen somebody actually driving a GB200 out on the street, other than myself, obviously, but I don't think that I really count for that. This thing actually handles extremely well, but it definitely feels like a rally car. It feels really twitchy and a little bit like uncontrollable at times. It has a really good like turn-in response when you go to turn, but it's almost too good to the point where like it feels like the back end just gets thrown out of whack and it's like kind of hard to control. But once you start getting used to it, I think it definitely gets easier. Even with the race suspension on this thing, it like tweaks out as well. Let's actually see how the handling is right here in the twisty section of the road. The back end definitely sort of likes to drift out, and especially when it starts doing the weird suspension thing where it starts like jumping up and down, the back end does sort of want to slide out right there, and a lot of the time it actually does. With that being said, though, it can hold its own pretty well in the corners. Of course, as I say that, I hit a car. But honestly, it's not a bad handling vehicle. It's not really slow either. It could definitely, don't get me wrong, it could be faster, but for what it is, I think it actually is pretty quick. And I do think it's probably a decent off-road vehicle at the end of the day, especially if you add some off-road tires to it and everything, and probably leave the suspension a little bit higher. It's probably pretty good, actually. I don't think I've ever tested this thing as an off-road vehicle, but I'm sure if you want to try it as one, it's going to be, you know, pretty decent. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the GB200. Like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of it. It's definitely not the greatest car ever, but it's definitely not the worst either. I would say that I recommend buying this car if you've got an extra $940,000 lying around, which is, you know, a bit expensive, but it's also like a bit cheap by today's standards in GTA. Less than $1 million for cars. You're not doing too bad, I guess, as crazy as that is. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it for the customization and the review today. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of my customization. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or if you learned something, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.